Here's a simple way to make your chords more interesting. Whether you are a jazz player or even if you are like a producer who, wants to just be better in their piano playing, simple things that you can do to make your chords, go from mediocre to sounding professional. For example, if I'm playing like, let's say I'm playing over a groove like, and what I'm playing here is a 2-5 progression in the key of E flat. That would be F minor to B flat 7, F minor 9, and I'm playing a B flat 13 here. Right, this is like standard, I guess, kind of like intermediate level. But if I really want to, elevate it, I want to add tensions that are applicable. So let's say this 2-5 is a 2-5 going to a major chord 1, assuming that the 5 is a primary dominant, meaning it's the 5 of the chord 1, not the 5 of 6 or the 5 of chord 2 or whatever. So like a 5 that would land to its chord 1, which in this case would be E flat. What you want to do, and there's two things that you can do. You can either memorize which tensions work where, or what I like to do is I like to use triads. I can memorize specific triads that work over specific chord functions. So for something like a primary dominant, I would want to build a triad on the 13th degree, and that would be a triad on G. If I'm looking obviously from the perspective of the chord 5, so if I look at B flat, that would be the root, and the 13th degree would be G, or the 6th degree. So what I would want to do is I'd want to build a triad on the 6th degree. So you obviously want to make sure you have your root, your 3rd and your 7th first, or I guess you could do root 7 and then 3 here, and then you'll place that triad over there. Now the beauty of triads is you can play them in different inversions. So you can do, here's first inversion G, second inversion G, here's tonic, going back to that groove. Now I'm going to add the triad. So that gives me a flat 9, a 13 flat 9 chord. Now if I had a dominant that was a secondary dominant, for instance, meaning now the B flat in this case, the B flat 7, is not the 5 of 1, but let's say it's the 5 of 2. What I want to do is I want to add a triad that is on the 2nd degree. And secondary dominants then usually move to whatever chord they were going to. So for the jazz players, like example, a tune like Misty, when you get to that secondary flat 7 chord, you can add a major triad on the 2nd degree, which in this case would be E flat major. So again, here's Misty. Here's that triad. Now if I have a dominant that's moving to a minor, I would do something slightly different. So let's say I had B flat 7 moving to E flat minor. Here I would want to add a triad that's on flat 13. Flat 13 would be the 13th that's been flattened by a half step, so I'll build a G flat major triad. Again, you can play it in whatever inversion, depending on where you are. For things like major chords, you know, if you have E flat major, here's 3, here's 7, you can add the major triad on the 2nd degree to create a 13 sharp 11 chord. That would be F major triad. I would really play it like this and omit the 7th actually, because I mean, since I have the 13 in there, it probably gives a more modern sound with these sort of 4th voicing spaces inside. You know, you can practice that in various keys like B flat, sharp 11, A flat, D flat, D flat major sharp 11. So adding, you know, major triads is really, you know, and I've talked about this on the channel before, but I think in that video I'd only covered dominance. But if you check out the PDF in the description, as I have explained in this video, you will find a table of all the applicable triads that you can explore for yourself over dominance, meaning secondary, primary, dominance that move to minor chords, minor and major chords, because you can use triads over minor chords as well. And speaking of major as well, you can not only play triads on the 2nd degree, but you can move it up to the 3rd degree. So what if I played a triad E flat with a G? That will give me a major sharp 5 chord. So I could start a jazz standard like Misty like this. You know. And sharp 5 naturally wants to resolve to 6, so that's what I'm doing here. Here's that triad on the 3rd degree, and I resolve it to 6, or don't resolve it. There's that triad on the 2nd degree. I'm adding a triad here on the 2nd degree of G7 in Misty, because G7 is a secondary dominant. It's a 5 of 6. Adding a triad on 5 of 5, which is F7. So going back to that loop that I had at the beginning, I could do and I don't have to, you know, always play it in this position. I can play that G triad on 2nd inversion. Ended on sharp 5 there. So that's how you can elevate your chords. You know, if you look at that table, which is the PDF in the description, you can see which triads you can use for minor chords as well. I mean, this is pretty straightforward stuff, but it's really, really effective. When you memorize which triad to use where, it's really going to take your chords from sounding really basic to making them sound like professional, you know. So I hope that helps. Check the PDF in the description. You can pick that up in the description below. Otherwise, have fun with this material. It's really going to help you. And I wish you well. Cool. See you.